Yep, it's been a minute. I have not been on YouTube in a little over a year. October 2020 to be exact. So, everybody wants to know where I've been. I'm going to tell you. Come on in, have some sit down, kick your feet up. I'm about to spill the tea. Hey everybody, it's me, Granny. Good to see you again. So the question, where have you been? I have been away taking care of myself. That's pretty much it. Taking care of myself. And I can go into detail about it, and I will. This month, I am coming back every day with another video. Every day now, every day. It's a challenge I have for myself. So, anyway, um, I had to take some time off because I needed some more deep wound healing that I need to take care of. For those who don't know me, I am Elegant Granny, restoration strategist. I support victims and survivors of abuse as they get back into life again on a healthier note. I'm also creator and host of the Proactive Eye podcast, where we have conversations of child abuse, intimate partner violence, which is also known as domestic violence, sexual assault, sexual violence, and also suicide prevention as it relates to abuse. That's very important, and I'll go into detail about that on another episode. So, where I have been healing, as I said before, and it was important for me to take this time off. There were some things that I felt like I just needed to let go because the more you try to hang on to things and try to keep going like everything's normal, it backfires on you. It just doesn't work out. So I had to take out a sheet of paper and I had to list what was most important and list some other things that I felt was important that I could let go of. YouTube happened to be one of them. It I did not want to do it, but it was necessary. I needed to let go of some things and focus on the most important factor, which was me. So, now that I have taken care of all of that, now I'm back. Now I'm still on my healing journey and I'm helping others on theirs as well. Healing is a continuous process. It's not a one-shot deal. And I try to explain this a lot. A lot of people think you can just do some hocus pocus and, the problem is fixed. No, it's not. It's a process and I don't take it lightly. I make sure that I evaluate myself every week. Now I do, because at first I was doing it monthly, and now I see that I need to do it weekly. Um, One of the things that I learned while I was away is I recognized when I needed help. That is so big, especially when you are high functioning. A lot of us will not recognize when we need help and when we need support from other people than ourselves because sometimes the wounds are so deep and there's an infestation going on spiritually, emotionally, and mentally that you don't realize that you need help. And I was so proud of myself when I realized I needed help instead of going and going and going because what happens when something traumatic happens to me, the old me would have gone into workaholic mode. And that's one of the things that I used to do to smooth over things, to fix things, and to sometimes deny things. And I was not about to go through that. I meant exactly what I said this time when I left an abusive situation that I was going to be healed and I was going to continue that process and I was going to recognize the signs, not ignore them, and I was going to be very adamant about my healing process. And I was, and I'm very proud of myself. As I said, sometimes people don't realize when they need help. It's so important not to it's so important to recognize it, because you never know exactly where you are until you see a mental health specialist or your spiritual advisor or your physician. I strongly suggest on my podcast, see those three people. You have to, because if one can't do something for you, the other one will. And I also think it's so important for you to do healing and protect yourself at the same time, because a lot of times we tend to just protect ourselves, but we don't go through the healing process. And I think it's so important that you do the two together, because that was my problem. I was doing one and not the other. Pre-marriage, I was doing a lot of protecting myself. After getting way out of an abusive marriage, I focused more on healing myself. And so once I teamed up with my spiritual advisor, I realized that, and she helped me to realize that I needed to focus on both at the same time. Because if you focus on one, that leaves the door open for something else to happen. Because I was focused on my healing, well, that let my protection guard down. So I needed to have that up at the same time. And when I was focused on protection, I wasn't healing. So that's how I got to this moment in my life. And I was like, I got to backtrack, restart. And I pushed play, and well, I pushed record on this part. So that's how I started my healing journey. So now, the seeing a mental health therapist and my spiritual advisor together was the biggest win for me. That's what I have to add to that. That's number two. That's the second thing. That was the biggest win for me, because learning that I needed to heal and protect while I was healing myself, that was a win. I needed to do that, because it's like you're inside your house. You see an invader about to come into your house, and you're a person who likes to keep all your windows and your doors open for fresh air and the beautiful light coming in. And you see someone that you don't recognize, or you know someone that is coming to harm you, and you close your front door, but you leave the back door open. They can still get in. Or you leave a window open, they can still get in. So what I needed to do was close all the windows and the doors and focus on what was happening inside my house, inside of here. There was a lot going on in my heart. There was a lot going on in my mind. There was a lot just going on that I was holding on to in my belly, that it was just causing so many problems. And so I needed to work on that. And I can't help anyone else until I get help. So I needed to focus on that. So that's another thing that I learned. Another thing that I learned was it is okay to let go of some minor things so you can take care of the major things. Holding on to always vlogging and holding on to always putting up podcast episodes and posting on social media, it wasn't as important as my mental health. It wasn't as important as my spiritual health or my emotional health. It just was not important. And, it's important, but not as important as those things. And so it was so important for me to let go, which is a hard thing for me to do, because I'm the person, I don't like losing. I don't like giving up. And once I got to the point where, hey, this is important for my healing, this is important for me to survive, and this is important for me to thrive in life, I had to learn how to let some things go. Now, I know I'm being general here, but believe me, I will go into more detail in other videos during the month. Now, the last thing I want to add here before I start the other videos for the rest of the month is, when you don't focus on yourself, and when you do not focus on your healing, and you have a lot pent up on the inside of you, it causes an impaction. Okay, so I remember growing up in the 70s, when in the 70s, every Friday night, it was a ritual that we would line up and everybody get a laxative. It's because we were in and out of the house, going to school. They didn't know what we were going to eat, when we were going to eat, how much of it we were going to eat. at school. So during the weekend when we were off, everybody lined up Friday night. It was a must that you kept your bowels and things open. So I likened that to what happened to me. There were some things I was holding on to. I was not allowing it to come out. I saw myself going on with my life every day like a little robot and not letting go of some things that was causing me harm mentally, physically, spiritually, and even financially. It took a toll on that. So I had to do some things to cause a release in my life. And now you know why I've been away. Now, hang in there with me. I know, like I said before, this is random and this is general, very, very broad, because I'm going to go into more details during the month. So stick with me. I'm back and I will be back every day. Talk to you later. I want you to remember something. You're worth saving. You're worth healing. You're worth protecting. Okay? I want you to understand it. Another thing I want you to remember, healing is a continuous process, not a one-shot deal. Much love, much peace, much light, and healing vibes. Love you all.